Hi friends, here I'm available again. So I'm going to talk about goal setting. Goal setting could be for business, could be personal gain, could be for anything. Goal setting is very important. And what is the importance of goal setting? Let me explain to you in various aspects. One could be a personal goal setting, one could be a business goal setting. Overall implications of where do we stand, how do we measure, what do we measure, and what do we want to achieve. So if we have clarity on all of these, that is what we talk about goal setting. So let's first look at personal angle. As a person, as a student, if you want to, set your target that I would like to score certain percentage in, let's say, class 10th or 12th, or I want to compete in some kind of professional exams, I want to go there, I want to compete in an MBA, or I want to build health, or I want to learn dancing, I want to be a good communicator. For everything that you have decided, there is a goal that you have set. Now, to achieve this goal, you need to know there are steps to reach to that goal. And the first thing that you have to do is first you have to measure where you are and where you have to go. So there is a gap. The gap could be smaller, bigger, whichever way you want it. And there is a path to that gap. So from this point to this point, you have to chart a path. Once you have done this, then you know. So just think of this as a highway. You are driving down any kind of road and suddenly you want to go from one place to other, and you know there is a highway that connects both the places. So you need to reach to that point. You know the direction that you have to go north to reach that highway. Once you have landed on the highway, then now the road becomes very clear. You know that you have arrived on that, and if you travel that path, you will actually reach the goal. So it's important for you to know your goal, your current baseline, and then how do you go. The whole strategy of creation of this is called goal setting. Let's go with a very simple philosophy where you want to build your health, you want to be strong. So in that case, first you measure your body metrics, you do your BMIs, you do your different calculations, your weights and everything. Once you have done that, you create a chart that this is what it is. You also put your body measurements, and then you say, I want to go to this level. My BMI has to increase, my total metabolism needs to be this rate, I should be fit if I want to go into games or something. So you set all that goal. Now to achieve and go there, there is a path. Maybe you hire a professional trainer, maybe you hire a professional dietitian, and the person decides and help you that your current intake is this much, your output is this much, and this is the calorie that you need to take. What kind of calorie, what kind of food, what kind of plan, everything has to be very meticulously planned. Once you have done that, then of course there will be boundaries, that there will be guidelines. This will not become your sacrosanct Bible. So what you need to do is you need to define a guideline that this is what I have to follow. If you have to eat or if you have to sleep at this time, doesn't mean 10 o'clock you just go and hit the bed. You need to define that this is, I should hit the bed early and I should get up early. There should be a gap of 8 hours. There should be a meal gap of, or whatever you can call it, intermittent fasting of 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. You define all that goals. What kind of protein, what kind of carbs, everything is done. You start following a diet chart, you start following a regime, and then you start measuring yourself. As I said in my previous video, there's a law that is called Hawthorne's law. If you start measuring, 10 to 15% improvement efficiency starts happening immediately. And once you have identified your task, then 50% of your job is done. That's so true. Once you have identified your goal, path, chart, 50% of your job is done. Now you have to focus on the rest 50, execution of that. And there should be intermittent checking of that you are on the right path. Once you do step 1, 2, 3 of your 10 steps, if you define, once you've done 1, 2, 3, 4 steps, and you know that you are going in the right direction, that is the time you understand that you have hit the highway. Now your goal and times are defined. As you walk, it could be a slow or a fast, but destination will be reached. This is the same thing that is applied to business. If you have identified your energy efficiency, your current emissions, your current energy that is there, your waste, your production, your total output, your total input, well, once you have done that, bring it to one common platform. Like I gave you an example of human body, it could be very complex. There are so many chemicals and so many enzymes, so many reactions that are there. So it has been brought into simple three of the three chemicals that we talk about, that is carb, protein and fat. And these three energy elements gives you a clear idea that each of them have got a very clear function. Energy can be divided into, again, as I said, carbohydrate, so you can take this much, a fat will give this much, and protein, which could be a building block. Similarly, in your business, you need to identify and bring everything, all your waste, your emissions, into one common platform, and that is called carbon. So here comes the concept of carbon. Carbon is a very simple concept. You can be emitting chemicals, you could be emitting ethane, methane, different types of water, waste, energy, electricity, fuels, all brought under one common umbrella, that is called carbon. Once you have understood this part, you start measuring. How do you measure? Measurement is also very simple. It's your energy, your waste, your total water, your total transportation. So it has been defined into scope 1, 2, 3. It's for your internal and external boundaries, so that you understand what it is. Once you've identified these parameters, these are simple parameters, but people without understanding makes it very, very complex. Similarly, when we talk about our protein intake, whether rice has protein or not, or whether chicken has more, or whether soya has less, so all of these could be complex. So you need to have macro pointers directing you that these are different classification of fats, proteins and carbs. Similarly, in business, you have to have very strong classification of each of these elements. Once you have understood that, then you do a goal setting. Goal setting could be, in traditional term, done in one way, that is your emission reduction. But you can do a business point of view. You say that goal setting, I'm going to improve my efficiency, I'm going to do cost reduction. Once you do that, and a byproduct of that will also become your emission reduction. Not necessarily both will always merge, but you can always plan. Since you're doing a goal setting, you have a clean path, you have a clean slate, and then in that you can always define what the goal is going to be and which path you're going to take. As you do that, step by step, you start working on that, you start doing simulation, and you start doing things. Just think of an element, think of a chemical, or think of a system where there is an app where, for a personal body, if you put all your elements, you put your diet, you put your working schedule, and let's say you are wearing a smartwatch that gives all your metrics. And what if it starts simulating? Let's say you want to do kickboxing and you want to reduce weight by, let's say, 3 kgs. You want to build your core. You want to build your shoulder for your badminton. You want to build your fist for your boxing. So in that case, if you have those things and if you can simulate, that will be amazing. And this is what we bring to you in our software, which is called Onlygood. When you do it for a business, once you put your data, once we have detail of data can also be automated. Similarly, you just wear a smartwatch, we give you an IoT device, and from the IoT device, we pick up all data. We do a lot of algorithm planning, and we start understanding your energy, your waste and everything, and then we can simulate. If you want to do a new production, we can give you a simulation, what kind of emission it will lead to, what kind of cost it will lead to. For example, if you're in garment and if you want to see your new garment, let's say your t-shirt or your shirt, if you're going to use a viscose vis-a-vis a cotton, or if you're going to do a mix or a blend of fabric, and if you're going to use this kind of buttons, what kind of emission it can lead to. For a car manufacturing, or for a bike, or any kind of vehicle, if you have understood, and if you say that from the system you want to design a new system, which is a hybrid car, or maybe an electric car, or maybe a hydrogen car, what if at the design stage we tell you that your emission is going to be this, total running emission is going to be this, the recycling emission is going to be this. So this is the power of tool. If it is done properly, and if it solves business problem, then it actually gives you the power where you can do multiple things. You can do a better designing, you can do a better operational efficiency, and you can launch a product which could be far superior from others without investing too much on prototyping and development of product. At design stage, sitting in the drawing room, you can actually decide what kind of product, what kind of roadmap, what kind of assembly line, everything can be done. So that brings me to the end of my video, telling you again about goal setting. There are different mechanisms and ways by which you can do that, but always remember the purpose has to be very clear in your mind and what goal you're trying to achieve. Thank you very much.